Shakhtari, the evolution of language, shifts in meaning and cultural reflections. Language is not a static phenomenon, it evolves over time, reflecting societal changes, cultural shifts, and the complex interplay between thoughts and expressions. Words often transform dramatically in meaning, leading to intriguing insights into historical contexts. This essay examines various examples of such shifts, including the words anima, animosity, category, and bias, while contrasting these changes with the cultural moves away from Christianity observed in language from the 1700s to contemporary times. Shifts in meaning, anima, animosity, and category. The Latin word anima originally signified soul or spirit, representing the essence of life and consciousness. However, over centuries, its connotation has shifted dramatically, with animal deriving from anima to suggest beings that are devoid of higher reasoning, merely creatures of instinct. This evolution reflects a broader philosophical transition from viewing life through a lens of spiritual essence to understanding it in terms of biological or physical existence. This reduction of meaning signifies a cultural move towards materialism, where the sacred nature of life is diminished to mere biological functions. A similar trajectory can be traced in the term animosity, which once referred to courage or a strong spirit. Today it denotes hostility or extreme dislike for others. This transition highlights not only a shift in language but also in social values, as notions of courage and valor have become entwined with conflict and discord. Courage is no longer simply about bravery in the face of adversity. It has morphed into a justifiable response of aggression against the perceived other, illustrating a changing attitude towards interpersonal dynamics in a progressively contentious society. The word category, derived from the Greek kategoria, initially bore the weight of serious accusations and judgments, often in a philosophical or legal context. In modern usage, it serves as a neutral term for classification, allowing for observation and analysis without moral implications. This shift represents a democratization of language, where the act of categorizing does not inherently impose judgment upon the classified entity. Whereas the ancient connotation carried the burden of stigmatization, today's usage indicates a more objective approach to knowledge and understanding, mirroring broader intellectual movements towards empiricism and rational inquiry. The evolution of bias. The word bias also illustrates a significant linguistic transformation, originating from the Old French word biais, which meant slant or oblique, often relating to violence or the exertion of great force. Bias initially suggested a physical inclination or distortion in direction. Over time, however, its meaning has shifted towards the mental realm, encapsulating the notion of partiality or an inclination towards one's own opinions, often disregarding contrary viewpoints. In contemporary discourse, bias carries a negative connotation, implying closed-mindedness and disdain for alternative interpretations of reality. This transformation reveals a critical evolution in societal attitudes towards individual perspectives and the importance of embracing pluralism, even while highlighting the complexities and challenges introduced by this multifaceted understanding of bias. The shift away from Christianity. Linguistic reflections. As language evolves, it often reflects significant cultural shifts, including the declining influence of Christianity from the 1700s to modern times. Terms traditionally soaked in Christian connotations have shifted to more secular interpretations. For instance, grace originally embodied divine favor and mercy, but in contemporary usage it can simply refer to elegance or cordiality. This diminishes the term's formerly profound spiritual significance, highlighting a general movement towards secularism and individualism. Religious terminology has often been repurposed in secular contexts. Soul, once a central tenet of Christian theology, has diversified in meaning, encompassing psychological aspects of human identity without religious implications. This linguistic transformation encapsulates the broader cultural transition where the divine has become increasingly abstracted or even dismissed in favor of empirical truths and secular ethics. Moreover, the language of morality and ethics has undergone a similar transformation, where once the moral compass of society was largely guided by religious doctrine, words like virtue have shifted from their spiritually charged roots to incorporate a more secular and often relativistic understanding of morality. This reflects a wider cultural shift toward individualized moral frameworks, valuing subjective interpretations of right and wrong over absolute religious directives. Conclusion. The evolution of language reveals deep connections between linguistic shifts and societal changes, offering insights into the historical contexts that shape meanings. Words like anima, animosity, category, and bias demonstrate how connotations can transform over time, corresponding to shifting cultural values. Furthermore, the transition away from Christian perspectives in language from the 1700s to the modern era underscores a significant move towards secularism and individualism. The fluidity of language not only illustrates the complexities of human experience, but also functions as a mirror reflecting the dynamic interplay between thought, culture, and expression across different time periods.